everybody, welcome back to the Firehouse in the Demilitarized Zone, aka Pitstain Hobbies, the dumbest modeling channel on all of YouTube. Hello and welcome back. We're back on Ecto-1, my new favoriteest thing in the entire world. I love Ghostbusters, obviously. I love the Ecto-1. I think, aside from the hilarious acting and the dry humor, and that was magic, that was lightning in a bottle, as they say. The Ecto-1 was my favorite star of the entire movie, as was many other people love the Ecto-1 more than anything else, including that big cuddly Stay Puft Man. Who cares? We've got an Ecto-1. We are on issue 6 now. By the way, if anyone's interested, if you already started it and you want to continue it, if you've been living under a rock, it's back. Fanhome is sending them out. Momentarily, I already started getting order processing notifications for my remaining issues. Yes! Click the links below if you're not signed up to continue, or if you want to sign up to start, click the links below. Just even if you want to just check it out and see what it's all about, click the links below. It helps the channel, and I thank you very much in advance. As usual, we have our Ian Screwed Up stickers. If you catch me making a mistake on this, I call an alternator, a distributor, whatever. I screw up, you call me out, but you gotta like, subscribe, and comment with my screw up, and then email me. The email's in the description, pointing below. Just pointing at my fat stomach at this point. And I will mail you out a sticker on my dime, including internationally. I've got international stamps. So as long as you're in most of the developed or semi-developed world, you can have yourself a genuine Pitstain Hobbies sticker for catching me making mistakes. I'm going to go through these stickers very quickly. I think a half a dozen or so just went out the other day to all those lucky viewers who caught me screwing up. Must watch for the entire video for your best chances. We had the front frame, not subframe. This is a full body on frame vehicle, manly vehicle, body on frame. Ooh yeah. And we did not bolt the engine down yet, but that is coming up shortly. We built the driver's side of the front suspension, and now let's see where we're at. And we've got our manual stage 15. There we go. This is the passenger side of the front suspension and the remaining steering linkage bits. There's some more stuff. I'll try not to screw up what it's all called when I get to it. But yeah, so we're gonna break out 15. This is what your parts will look like when you get them. Mine might be a tiny bit dusty since they have been sitting around for over a year waiting for this glorious moment of starting the build. And again, carefuling when you pull it out of the baggie because there are screws, quite a few bags of screws, because the suspension has many, many, many fasteners. I'm going to put those aside and put our bag in the trashola. And again, I must remind everyone, there are many little parts, and this plastic, oh my god, the top and bottom of this packaging, this thing's marriage is stronger than me and my wife sometimes. It's insane. Trying to pry these two apart. It's like trying to pry apart teenagers making out in a car. Come on. Oh, see, things are starting to pop. Who knows what's going where? Yep. And careful, Ian. There we are. Okay. Nothing went flying. See, one of these pieces, whoop, went over there. It should be in there. Okay. All of our parts. Everyone can now breathe. I didn't tell you to hold your breath, but you probably were waiting for me to launch something across and get a sticker. Not happening yet. Keep watching. I'm going to start putting this together, same as the other side, which I really didn't show you much. So I'll go into a little more detail on this front suspension in this episode. Thank you for watching. We will be back in a second. Okay, like I said, I'd actually show you some stuff. So the lower control arm, we've got this little guy in here. They're both marked R for Robert. I mean, right. That's it. A couple EM screws in there. Don't forget to dab them in the 3-in-1. Not a stupid dance move. In the oil. We got our little bump stop here. One tiny little screw there. We got our little upper control arm. Same thing. Make sure these move after you put in your screws. I have yet to get them, have them bind up on this side or this side, and I sent those screws pretty much all the way home. Well, I sent them all the way home because they forgot their lunch. No, I'm kidding. Oh, back into my echo chamber of pop culture down here. If anyone wants to listen to the music I listen to when I do most of this stuff, I have a Spotify playlist. If you just search user IANSCH and the number 54, there's a TV and movie themes playlist. I curate it every now and then, and it could shrink or increase in size depending on my whims. But it's a fun playlist, and there's none of the crap. And you may not like everything I like, but there's a good eclectic variety of movie and TV themes in there. On to the next part here. I'm gonna get this little doohickey bolted on to the upper control arm. This is going to be its orientation. Okay, and it's going to be a couple more EM screws. Lots of EM screws and lots of dipping. There we go. Oh, dipping's no good either. It's like the chewing tobacco thing. Gross. Just make sure you lube your screws. Okay. Oh boy, that never comes out sounding right. I will be right back. Oakley dokley, everybody. So our upper control arm, that mount is right there. Now, the lower control arm. I got these flipped. Wait a second. It is the upper control arm. Jesus, Ian. Oh, I'm losing my mind. It's a weeknight, kids. I used up a lot of the brain cells at work today. Basically, these two little pegs are going to go in these two holes right here. All right. Then we got to flip this feller over and lay it down on there. And then we're going to take a couple of HM screws, not the discount clothing retailer, and put them through these two tiny holes down here, right there and right there, right there and right there. So that's that. We'll be right back. It's really a good playlist I made there. I'm so proud of myself. You can't see me patting myself on the back right now. I can still sort of reach my back. I got to lose a little more weight. Time for the lower control arm. So we're going to take it. We're going to flip her upside down so it looks like that. And there's a little ledge between these two holes. We're going to lay that right there. And then we've got two of these little brackets. And we're going to place them on top of that. Like so. Ooh, gritting my teeth, little parts. And then we've got to put in 4 of these fairly beefy IM screws into those 4 wanting holes. Oh, they're just crying out for a screw. Oh my God, Ian, stop it. Oh. All right, okay, well, this channel's gone to the potty before. We'll be right back. Okay, we got our little brake drum here. So the steering knuckle goes in the back of the inside part. 2 screws, put it on. It aligns only one way. This outside portion, however, you want this master cylinder to be at the top. This down here, master cylinder up here. Because you can kind of put this outside part on multiple ways. And then what we got to do is get this onto here we go. Get this onto here. And yeah, that'll be fun. I'll do that off camera. I think we just need like a JM screw. There we go. Got a couple of those, which means we probably only need 1. If they give you 2, it means you probably need 1 for the stage. And that's just how that works. So we'll be right back. The knuckle will be on. Okay, so we've got that knuckle screwed in there, and you want to be able to still steer the wheel fairly freely, but you don't want it to be a sloppy mess. So if you tighten it enough and it's like kind of tough to turn, loosen it, not even a quarter turn, just 1/8 of a turn, and it should free right up. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to flip back our control arm, and we're going to take our spring and put it in the pocket, and then get it on the perch. Now, this is a very hard spring, so what we're going to do is we're going to flip the car over, and then what you need to do is get a screw in this this would kind of be a ball joint or kingpin on the real car, and you want to push down on the chassis and get that screw in there. Here's where a magnetized screwdriver comes in handy. The kit supplied screwdriver is slightly magnetic, but if you do have the ability to, if you have a magnetizer floating around, Here we got one of these little guys. I mean, this one's branded because I'm bougie with my VH German magnetizer. I guarantee you this thing's made in China. You just swipe your little screwdrivers in there. I do it once every few months, maybe. I don't know. I don't think they really lose their magnetism all that much. Unlike me from when I was in my 20s, my magnetism is gone. I'm lucky I'm married now. I couldn't attract a friggin' potato chip anymore. There we go. That being said, so okay, we gotta get a IM screw in there. We will be right back with that done because I will be grunting a little because this is a very stiff spring. Be right back. After a bit of strategic grunting, we have that in. Now what we want to do is flip this fella over and take our little, I guess, facsimile of a shock absorber and drop that in there. There's a little notch that it'll notch into, and then you'll have to kind of hold it in place and get that screw in there, and that is going to be an HM screw, a metal screw. So yeah, it's a little tricky, but it's not all that hard. It's just, I've got butterfingers. Literally, I was cooking dinner, and I think I have some olive oil on me still. Maybe wash your hands with dish soap before you start working. Don't be all slimy pawed like I am. One sec, we will return momentarily. Okay, we got a little shock in, and we did take an IM screw, and we tied this little tie rod in with the little stud area facing downward towards the knuckle steering arm area there. Now we gotta flip this bad boy back over and get one of the flanged KM screws. There we go. Oh, okay, there's only two of them. Again, it means we only really need one. Unless for some reason they actually pack the exact number of screws or screw that you need. And we'll hold the bottom of that and get our little... Oh! Come on, Ian. See, this is why I don't put screws in on camera. Something always goes sideways. Okay, and once it's snug, we want to make sure... Look at that! Look at that! Awesome. Okay. Steering linkage is smooth, and the wheels move freely left. Well, the drums, the spindles move freely left to right. Oh, God, I'm going to be out of stickers before the end of this Ecto-1 build. There's a lot of stages and a lot of places for me to mess up what I'm saying. But we are officially done with stage 15. Goodbye. And time for 16. More fun bits and pieces. There we go. Should probably put a fresh blade in that hobby knife. It's feeling a little sluggish in the cutting department. Got that. Got some more bags of screws. Let's get these fellas out of the way from the previous stage. Get all these bags of screws. Oh, a lot more screws. You think like, oh, this isn't a lot of parts. There's like a million screws. It takes you a while to put this thing together. Like one stage, you could easily spend upwards, of an hour. If you're taking your time, savoring it, taking a sip of beer, listening to some good music. Maybe you got Ghostbusters playing in the background, and it draws away your attention momentarily. Again, this plastic. If anyone else is frustrated with this packaging, it's not just you, but it's probably the best way to package these bits and pieces. Oh my, seriously? Come on. Okay. And it looks like we've lost nothing important. We've lost nothing, period. There's a couple little hoses in here too. And there we go. There's your parts. Looks like steering shaft and some more steering linkage, pitman arm, idler arm, one or the other. Steering box. That's is that a worm drive ball? Is that a ball recirculating ball steering system, or is that a worm drive? I don't know what Cadillac used in '59, so I don't know if you could really get a sticker off me for that. But if you know exactly what this is called, and I did not call it the right thing for the steering gearbox of some form there, then yeah, correct me, do the whole thing. Like, subscribe, comment, send the email, and I will run out of stamps any day now at this rate. So we're going to get building on this. And, yeah, more screws, bars, things. Oh, there's a stabilizer bar up here. There we go. Uh-oh. Okay, stabilizer bar. I thought this was more to do with the steering, but I'm like, wait a second. We already got... Oh, it's plastic. That's not going to stabilize the car very well. It's not even metal. Okay, we'll be back in a sec. Okay, our little stabilizer bar and end links are assembled, and it's going to go right here underneath this part, underneath these two oblong holes here, and then we're going to get a couple of BP screws in there, and we'll be back in a sec. Okay, our stabilizer bar is in place. Screwed there, screwed there. Leave a little loose, and then you get these two brackets on. Okay, those screws go into metal, so remember, 3-in-1 oil. And then once those are down, then you could snug these up just enough, because it's going in the plastic. You don't need to go Hercules on that stuff. We're gonna start building the steering gear, like the idler arm, pitman arm, all that fun stuff. Okay, we will be right back with some of that action. Okay, so we fit these two parts together, and then one of these flanged, I believe, KM screws, and you tighten it down all the way, and it still moves freely. And then we're going to stab this thing down right there, and we need an LM screw. We're going to put that in, and we will return. Okie dokie. So we actually put a DM screw from this arm into the steering arm from the idler arm, and you want to make sure it's tight enough but still loose enough that everything moves freely and there's not too much. It's going to be a little slack. You know, in real life, these steering systems often had quite a bit of slack in them, which is why they were replaced many years ago in most vehicles by rack and pinion steering. They use this type of steering in body-on-frame trucks for quite a while. Some still do, I'm sure. But yeah, most vehicles have gone to rack and pinion because there's so much slop inherent in all of these extra joints and bolts and nuts and rods and everything that the fewer connection points you have in a steering system, the less slop there generally will be. Okay, onward and upward. We're going to get... Holy crap, I think the steering box... Yeah, this is like functional gearing in there. So, just as a preface, we are going to break out our silicone grease and probably lube it up pretty good, just for fun. We'll be back in a sec. Okay, so we've got this part of the steering gearbox bolted to the frame. A couple screws there as per the instructions, and if you see this goop in the middle, that is my silicone grease. And then we're going to drop this little gear here. We're going to drop that in there. And we push her through, and there's a flat spot, and there we go. Okay. All right, we got to flip her over and get this thing secured into place. We will be right back. Okay, so we held the gear up. We put the arm on there, the pitman arm, and one screw here, and then one screw here into the steering arm, and that's how it should look when it's done, and it should move freely. So that's nice. Perfect. Next thing is... Okay, looks like the steering column and gear mesh and all this is coming into play. So big important thing is keep your wheels aligned straight ahead. Okay, it's an alignment thing. You want to keep them straight ahead so that when you put the shaft in and everything else, when you go to just bolt your steering wheel on at a later point, it's not cockeyed, and your steering isn't cockeyed to have your steering wheel straight, and it's just a bad alignment waiting to happen. So we'll carefully follow the instructions and get that steering column in there. Okay, the flat facing down. Okay, yeah, pretty simple. We'll be back un momentito. Okay, I schmoed up that gear there with the lube. Now we need this and this at the same time, and we're going to get it in the cradle there. We want to make sure the flat is facing straight down at the that end of the shaft, and then we'll just put that into place with a couple of screws. So hold it in place. We'll be right back. Okay, she's all bolted down, and let's test the steering out. Check it out. It works. It's less than a half a turn lock to lock, by the way. On a real 59 Cadillac, that would be many, many full revolutions of the steering wheel required to get this thing to go lock to lock. It was, an ambulance slash hearse slash land yacht. And, loosey-goosey steering. You could steer it with a pinky. You just have to keep going like this and keep going like that. And here we go. And we are just about done. We're going to now bolt the engine into the front frame here. Awesome. We'll be right back. Okay, engine is bolted into the chassis along with the transmission. Now, the two screws that go here and here, my PH1 screwdriver was a little girthy in the shaft. I never have that problem. And I had to use the kit-supplied screwdriver to get down in those little holes. No such issue back here for the transmission. I use my regular fancy-dancy one. But this little guy comes in handy every now and then. If you've got, the holes without a whole lot of clearance, you need a skinnier shaft to get in them. Oh, God, why does it all come out sounding so bad? It's okay, everybody. We're all adults here. If we could afford one of these, we're all adults, I'm pretty sure. Unless you're a spoiled kid, and then you've probably got a potty mouth worse than me. So let's see here. We got to put some hoses on the back of our power steering pump into the box. So from back here to over here, we'll just get those shoved into place, and we will be back momentarily. Ooh, it's getting exciting. We're putting a wheel on, so we're going to take our wheel from stage 4, mine the valve stem. We're going to put it over the axle there. And then make sure you get that hole right there over the valve stem. There we go, just like that. Then one LM screw that you've dipped in your 3-in-1 oil and right down the middle. Careful, Ian. Jeez. I'm like, I got a great idea. I'm going to stand this up on top of this bottle of Well Done number 3. And we're going to be just peachy. But we're going to get a firm grip on this fella. And screw it in nice and tight. And now the wheel doesn't move at all. And then we're going to back it off just a notch. And now the wheel rolls with some resistance. We can back it off a tiny bit more. Honestly, we're not going to be rolling this thing around a lot. So if it rolls with a tiny bit of resistance, that's really not the end of the world. I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine. I prefer it to not roll very much. So, we can align the Firestone logos, at the top of the white wall if we want. Now, we're not going to put in the Cadillac center cap because we may need to take this off, tighten it, loosen it, who knows what. But there we go. Our wheel is on, and we are officially done with stage 16. And there we go. I'll give you one guess what 17 is. It's the other wheel for the front. Fantastic. I think all 4 of these wheels are the same exact size and diameter and all that, but I could be mistaken. But we've got, heavy rubber tire. We've got some more screws. And, this goes together just like the wheel in stage 4. So if there's anything really different in this stage, I'll shout it out. But we're going to get this slapped together real quick. There are some rubber hoses in here. So those are for something here, I'm sure. We'll be back in a sec. So that was slightly more fiddly than I expected. Not the wheel going on. That was easy. It's these little brake hoses. You see that? And that, we got to run those around here into that brake distribution block. Look at that. That's pretty self-explanatory. The instructions are very good. And the suspension is very stiff. It's got to be. This thing's going to just weigh a metric crap ton by the time we're done. Stage 18. Okay. That's it for tonight. Here we go. Here's 18. Let's everything out. Okay. Goodbye. We got our second center cap in there. Slicey, slicey. Okay, carefully pull that out. No screws in the bag. They're all in the plastic clamshell. I don't know what kind of packaging you call this. Torture jail. Let's see here. Come on. It's going to be everybody's favorite part of the build is opening up the plastic packaging without... Goodbye. Without firing stuff across their workbenches, hobby rooms, into the carpet monsters, waiting, loving maw to eat your parts. This is... Oh, heavy. Metal. Very nice. Okay. So this feller... We got to put a couple little things on it. Namely these little side pieces. You know, little... like kind of... I don't know how you call them, mud flaps or air dams, I suppose. Yeah, fit the left front chassis part. Front left chassis. Yeah, I think it's actually an air dam for the front wheels to make this more aerodynamic, I guess. That's a joke. 1959 aerodynamics. Yeah, just put big fins on it and give it a really big engine. That's all we need to do. 4 miles a gallon's plenty. We'll be right back. Okay. We've got our little flappy doohickeys. Like, here we go. Got our little flappy doohickeys on there. They look like air dams to me. They're right in front of the front tires. And we're going to put this into place on the front of the chassis horns. Oh, someone will correct me on that word, I guess. I have no idea. And 4 DM screws that have been judiciously dipped in 3-in-1 oil. And we want to make sure these holes line up. Come on. There we go. I think. Nope, I'm not even close. That's what she said. Nope. See, this is why we don't do this live on camera. There we go. Okay, one of these days, Ian. Okay, well, metal into metal. This thing is even heavier. Okay, we're gonna get the other 3 screws in, and we will return. Okay, now we're gonna carefully flip her over, put her on a microfiber towel, a pillow, the little pad that comes out of the engagement ring box. It says, "He went to Jared." I don't know if that joke's going to land in every region. Jewelry store with very annoying ads in the U.S. We can get a couple of these little screws in here. Not quite sure what these things are yet. Let's see here. Front left chassis skeleton. I don't know. Whatever the description is. Get the other one on here. Get this screw in. And there we go. Okay. Beautiful. And we're out of parts. And we're all done with 18. Okay. All right, our chassis is getting bigger, just like my waistline. Oh, man. Okay. By this point, if you don't already realize this is going to be a heavy model, you're realizing this is going to be a heavy model. A lot of metal in this thing. I think just this, the hood and the front bumper probably weigh as much as the entire 1/6 scale Hot Toys version of this thing, because that's basically all plastic. I feel this one is much more accurate. This is the one to have, in my opinion. It's actually a little more expensive than the Hot Toys. Well, maybe not if you're getting the GB1 Hot Toys, since they're now discontinued and you're going to be paying scalper eBay price. But look at that. Very nice. Okay. Whoever's not already subscribed to this and has continued their subscription, oh, you need to be subscribing to this thing. This is freaking awesome. If you can swing it, I highly recommend it. It's so choice. Again, use my links below to get the Fanhome UK and USA links are there. And like and subscribe and comment and correct me and get a free sticker and all that good stuff. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time on the dumbest modeling channel on all of YouTube, Pit Stain Hobbies. Adios, everybody.